What's going on, guys? Tyrauku here. I hope you're all doing great. So if you're brand new to the channel, if this is the first video you're seeing by me, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Raid. If this is not the first time you're seeing me, welcome back. Super glad to have all of you all. A quick little introduction. I played Raid for about 2.5 years. I did a free-to-play account series for a little while, about a year and a half ago, somewhere around there. And honestly, the game has changed so much since then. I started this account yesterday, as at the time uploading this video would probably be January 2nd, but I started playing this account January 1st, 2022. And this is going to be a 100% free-to-play account, no content creator perks, nothing like that. So it's going to be on an equal playing field as everybody, if you're not spending. I will try to give some feedback on some packs that if you are a spender, some ones that could be a pretty decent value for you. If you do decide to go down that route of, opening up your wallet to Plarium, they will gladly take your money and have no regrets whatsoever. But if you're not interested in spending money, this account's gonna be 100% free to play. Honestly, I think Raid now is so much more free to play accessible, free to play friendly than it was before. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you are free to play, you gotta manage your expectations, right? So I don't think anybody who's playing free to play actually assumes they can jump in here and compete with players who are in the top of PvP and do well, okay? So to be 100% honest, even on my spending account, which has played 2.5 years, more or less, and spent a pretty good amount of money, even I can't always compete with these top players in the arena. Honestly, it takes so much money, but everything else in Raid doesn't really matter. Honestly, as far as like Raid being too late to get started into, I know the game's been out for almost 3 years now. I think it came out in 2018. So yeah, it's been out for a while. Well, at least that's what it said on Google, is 2018, but I think it's been out for like 3.5 years, somewhere around there. Either way, it's definitely not too late to start. Honestly, they've added so many new things to Raid, and 2022 will hopefully be a huge year for it as well. But yeah, I guess we'll just see how things go throughout 2022. This video is going to be, first off, just an introduction into the free-to-play series. I want to share with you guys kind of my goals with this account and just welcome you to the channel. And then we're going to do some videos which are the free-to-play series related, some beginner guides, but I'm still going to be doing my regular further in the game content just like before. So if you were here on the channel for that, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I'm still going to do that content, but I do want to do some of this more beginner focused content because it's been so long since I've done an account like this that I think it's going to be very valuable for me to experience the game through the eyes of a essentially brand new player. Granted, I do have the advantage of playing the game for a while, so I kind of know where to go, what to start, and where to focus, because honestly, Raid seems, since I first played, it seems a lot more intimidating and complex when a new player jumps in, I feel like, because when I first started, we didn't have the Doom Tower, we didn't have the Forge, we didn't have Faction Wars. Even when I very first started playing, 3v3 Arena was no such thing. Honestly, it was so much smaller back then, but with the addition of that new content came a lot more ways to get a lot more resources, a lot more free resources, and a lot of that stuff, you kind of need to know where to focus and where not. So this first video, I want to share with you guys kind of where to focus. I want to share with you where I've been focusing. And if you have any questions whatsoever, leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll try to make a separate video for that. There's so many small details I could go over that I don't want to overwhelm you guys with all those little minute details, so on and so forth. So I do have a clan, Rockpile, Ty2P. I tried to do it T free to play, didn't work. So Ty2P. So if you want to join, go ahead and just search Rockpile, go to the clan. You can literally just go to clan search, type in Rockpile or type in the clan tag and just join. If you're free to play, you're welcome. If you're not free to play, you're also welcome. Just keep in mind, we're going to be doing normal and, well, we're going to be moving through the clan bosses hopefully pretty quickly, but hey, we'll see how it progresses as time moves forward, and I'll talk about this stuff later on. So what was I focusing on yesterday? Yesterday on stream, twitch.tv/Tyrauku, I plan on streaming a lot of this content on this free-to-play account, but yesterday my focus was picking my starter. So I picked Elaine. The starters you have the option of picking from is Aethel, awesome champion, very, very good rare champion. So right here it says rare attack. This is the type of champion. This is pretty important, the attack, support, so on and so forth. Some of these missions can mess you up if you don't know this, but Aethel, very good. Gallic, honestly, decent, good champion. You can progress with him. It's not going to hold you back. He's like the poster boy for Raid, so a lot of people pick him. He looks really cool. We have Kale, which is typically known to be the best starter, but I think with some of the recent changes, Elaine may actually be a lot more viable than she used to be. So Kale, super good for clan boss, really good poisoners, but we went with Elaine. So Elaine, high elf champion, right here. She's gonna be an awesome starter. Honestly, any starter you chose from those four are probably gonna be perfectly fine, okay? The The amount of time you get from your starter isn't going to be a ton of time. Like you're going to take them for a while, but eventually you're going to replace them. It's not going to be a big deal. And honestly, any of them can progress perfectly fine. So if you've already picked your person to start with, don't worry about restarting the game because you didn't pick Kale and everybody's been telling you to pick Kale. They all do great. But what I did, I picked a lane, got started, stream voted on a lane. I wanted a lane anyways, so that's what we did. We got started with that. Now, when you jump into the game, you're going to be guided a little while by Arbiter. Basically, the first thing, guys, please, when you jump in here, don't miss this. I mean, if you're watching this video, you've probably already seen this, but just a heads up, when you first start on stage 1, you're going to have 2 champions. Later on in the stages, 2 things. One, you're going to have the option to bring in 3 champions. One thing to watch out for is the star right here. So it says 2 or fewer champions, no losses. So even though you have 3 slots, you only want to bring 2 champions in here and try to clear it with those 2 champions to get 3 stars. Because when you're getting the 3 stars, you're actually going to be moving along through the campaign rewards at the bottom of the screen, and you're going to get pretty good rewards. Another thing is, please, this button right here, well, crap, my mic is covering it, but there's a 2 times speed right here. Okay, so this is 1 time speed right here. It literally looks like we're going in slow-mo. Hit auto, and your champions do their AIs pretty good. Like the auto works pretty good in this game on most champions. Some champions not so much. We can get more into that later on. But please hit 2 times speed because honestly, raid and 1 time speed is quite literally slow-mo. Like I don't know why they think that this is the normal speed somebody runs at, but they have no oomph, like no desire to get to the enemy in 1 time speed whatsoever. So hit 2 times speed. I can't tell you how many times I've seen sponsored streamers, which I mean, maybe they haven't never played games like this before and don't know there's a way to speed it up, but that will save you so much time and so much just staring at the screen. If you just hit 2 times speed, it makes things so much better. The auto function works a while. You can play a lot of it just with auto. There will be some parts in the campaign where you do need to switch to manual and go ahead and use your skills based on how you see best fit. But a lot of it can just be manual. Now, a few things I want to talk about. There are a few missions as you're progressing that you may get stuck on and caught up on. So I want to go over those here right now. So one of them is like equip a rare attack type champion with offense artifacts. So right here, you can see the types. So we have rare, but it doesn't say rare. It says it's just attack type champion, I think. These are the type of champions. So we have attack right here with a lane. We have a support with war priest. And then there's like HP types. There's different types of champions, okay? But this is the type. And then the artifact set name, this is a life set. This is an offense set, critical rate set, divine offense, okay? So if it says equip a support type champion with 6 life artifacts, you want to come in here, make sure they have 6 life artifacts in order to complete that quest. Because right here, we have 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 life artifacts. We would want to take these life steel boots and put on a pair of life boots to actually have 6 life artifacts. And then another thing to keep in mind is you'll see on these sets, you have a little parentheses 2. Later on in the game, well, from lifesteal set actually, let's go ahead and remove this. We're going to spend some silver. You'll see lifesteal has a 4 right there. What that means is in order to get this set bonus, you have to equip 4 pieces of this gear. So if I want to get a lifesteal set bonus, which is, sorry, can't see that. It is heals by 30% of the damage dealt. I would have to equip 4 pieces of lifesteal artifacts. But if I wanted to get the set bonus from the life artifact, which is plus 15% HP, I would need to equip 2 pieces from that set. So right here, we have 5 pieces equipped, but we're only getting the set bonuses from 2 of the life sets because we have 2 complete sets, 4 pieces, in other words, of life set, and they do stack. So if you get 4 pieces of lifesteal and 2 pieces of life, for example, or 2 pieces of offense, you'll have the lifesteal benefits plus the benefits from the offense or life set, whatever you do. We can get into that more later on. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Some of you may be picking that up, no problem. And some of you may take a little bit longer to fully understand. Now, one thing to keep in mind is while the set bonuses are really good, don't fully focus on those. Like don't make your gear equipping bad just to go for the set bonuses necessarily. I'll get into that more in later videos. The main thing I wanted to talk about is this mission where it is equip a support champion with life artifacts. That one gets people stuck very, very often. So be careful with that. Another thing is don't be in a huge rush to upgrade your gear because there's some missions that are to equip a champion with X level artifacts. And I'm not 100% sure if those are retroactive or not, meaning I don't know if you do them beforehand, if it counts once you get to it down the road. So just be mindful about that. Silver is kind of scarce in this game, kind of difficult to come by. So you don't want to be upgrading your stuff too quickly and running out of silver and messing yourself up on the missions as well. when you're upgrading stuff, in the early game, flat stats like this are actually better, but later on, the percentage stats on the bottom become better. We'll get into that in some later videos down the road. But missions and challenges, honestly, if you get stuck on anything, you don't know where to go, check your missions. Your missions will give you a very good example. So right here it says equip another attack type champion with 6 offense artifacts. So I go in here, this is an attack type champion. Honestly, this is the easiest way to equip your gear. So hit fitting room, filter, and then try on. Just try on all these pieces. And it looks like I am missing a chest plate, as well as a pair of boots. So I'll go ahead and equip these pieces. The mission's obviously not complete, so we're missing a chest plate as well as a pair of boots. I'll go ahead and jump in here to Sewers of Arnok, go down here to the chest plate stage, pick up a chest plate as well as a pair of boots. Now, I've already cleared this area one time and got the 3 stars from this. Once you get 3 stars the first time, you don't have to worry about going through with only 2 champions and continually getting 3 stars. Once you're to the point of like farming the stages or repeating the stages, what you want to do is bring your main champion, which is going to be your starter. That's going to be the main champion you're investing in for a while, okay? You're going to get them leveled up, so on and so forth. You want to bring in, for me, it's War Priest. There's some different promo codes where you may get some different champions, but bring in a full team of champions who can level up essentially, because how Raid works, basically you have a pool of 100% experience. If you bring in all 4 champions, that pool of 100% experience is split 25% all the way across, okay? Now, if you have Elaine, who is, say she was max level, she's still gonna get 25% of the experience, but it's gonna go nowhere, okay? It's basically just gonna fly off, just throw it out the window, okay? That experience is wasted because she's max level. If you had only 2 champions in here, this is where it gets to be a big deal. If you had only 2 champions in here, and say Elaine was max level now, 50% of your experience is gonna be wasted because she's max level, she can't get any more. So if you bring all these champions in here, one, it lets you level up your food champions, which are these 2 uncommon champions. We'll be using these to upgrade the rank of our Elaine and any other champion we want to invest in. But we'll be building these 2 up. They'll get to level 20 because they're 2-star. They're ranked 2, so they have 2 stars up here. Their max level is level 20. They'll be leveling up all pretty slowly because we have a nice dispersion of the experience across everybody versus just really pumping the experience into 2 people. Keep that in mind. That is something you want to watch out for. Don't rush your starter champion to max level, so you'll get some brews as you progress as well. Don't just dump them all into that champion, because when you get to the max level, you are going to do better as far as in the campaign, wherever it may be. But if you rush that champion to max level, you're still, before you can actually rank them up to the next rank, you're going to be stuck with running through the campaign, still getting that experience, but you're basically losing whatever percentage because you aren't giving any experience to your leader champion. So definitely keep that in mind, especially if you're free to play. You really got to be careful because you want to be as efficient as possible, right? Now, I went ahead and got these 2 pieces just now. We'll go ahead and equip those. As far as like efficiency goes in general, and on this account, I don't want to make this video too long for one, but as far as efficiency goes, I do want to play this account efficient. Now, I'm not going to play to peak efficiency. Like, I'm not going to make sure my energy is below cap all the time. I'm going to try to do pretty good about it, but honestly, the first few days of playing Raid, your energy is going to look like this: 578 over 63. Basically, it says full. What this means is that I'm not regenerating any energy whatsoever while I'm away. So until this number on the left gets below this number on the right, which is currently 63, I won't be regenerating any energy whatsoever. Now, every time you level, you're going to get a higher cap. Your max cap of energy is going to be 130. At level 60, you're going to be able to get up to 130 energy. Now, first off, that gives you more time to be away while your energy is regenerating. So that's really nice. You can spend your energy down, more time to be away from the game, come back, spend it down again, so on and so forth. Another thing that's a big deal though, is these energy potions right here. These give you energy based on this number on the right. So if you're level 60, this potion is going to give you 130 energy. But if you're level 16, like I am right now, this potion is going to give you 63 energy. So hopefully you're following along. Hopefully you see that it's better to wait for, I guess, as long as you can before using these potions, because the higher level you are, the more energy it's going to give you. Now, obviously, this only lasts 6 days, so I need to use this before 6 days is up. But honestly, I'm going to wait until 6 days. Unless, of course, I run out of energy completely, I'm going to wait 6 days for that. Now, if you end up going to the shop and buying stuff and they have the energy that looks like this energy, it's the same exact resource, but instead of giving you only 63 energy, so it's not an energy refill, this is just 1,000 energy. So it's going to go straight to this left side. I would now have 1,578 energy if I did buy this. Now, since we're in the packs, since we're looking at this kind of stuff, I want to talk about a few things. First off, promo code. I did enter one. It's called Simple, S1MPLE. I'll try to leave it down below in the comments or the description, whatever. This may or may not work depending on when you're starting to play. I think it may go into like January 28th. I'm not 100% sure, but if you enter it, I think it gives you like 20 brews, 3-day experience banner, which is super, super nice. You always want to make sure when you're leveling, you have one of these available, have one of these active, which you'll see right here if it's active, plus 100% experience. So make sure it's active. You'll get some energy potions and some, I think that's it. I think that's all you get. There's some different YouTubers, I believe, with some links for some free, like free Vergus, I think, free champions that you can get. So keep an eye out for those. I probably won't be using those on this account because I kind of want to make this applicable to anybody watching it throughout this year. And sometimes those champions get cycled through. So I want to keep this as accessible for as long a period of time as possible. But let's jump into the shop real quick and talk about some of these offers. So you'll see some sacred shards. Honestly, these are pretty expensive. 25 bucks for a sacred shard. This is the best shard in the game. Pretty expensive. I would skip that depending on your spending. This is an okay deal. 10 bucks for some chickens and stuff. I would, if you want to get this, I would definitely get it early on because it's going to give you the most value early on. You're going to be able to book your rare champion you start with. But honestly, there's some better offers. This, not a very good offer if you're a low spender. It's a decent offer if you're a fairly high spender, if you plan on spending some money. But if I was just brand new starting this game, whenever you hit like level 15, I think you get a level 15 pack. That pack is pretty good. I think it was like $15, $25, and it came with some ancient shards, sacred shard, I think, some void shards, and some gems. It was very similar to this monthly pack right here. That was a pretty good deal, okay? So it had the sacred shard in there. This monthly pack is a pretty good deal. This New Year pack, if this is available for you, which is only going to be for 2 more days, this is a pretty good deal. All those are a even better deal because with the first 24 hours of you playing the game, which I have 10 hours left now, you get a double chance to summon legendaries from sacred shards, which means now you'll have a 12% chance to summon a legendary versus a 6% typically. So if you are a spender and you do plan to play raid for a while, you feel comfortable with spending the money, getting the monthly pack, getting packs that when you're leveling up, I think to level 15, level 20, raid gives you plenty of chances to buy packs. If they have sacred shards, if they seem to be a decent deal, similar to this one, then go ahead and purchase it. If you're a spender, of course, but sacred shards have a little bit higher value, especially in the first 24 hours, because you do have that higher chance to get legendaries. Now, legendaries may not, if you pull a good legendary you think is good, jump into a Twitch stream, jump into a stream, whatever it may be, ask around if they're good. There's a ton of supportive players in the raid community, which honestly, depending on what kind of game you come from, that may be the biggest draw to this game. The raid community is absolutely awesome. Everybody, I'll take that back. Most people are willing to help. Most people are helpful. Sometimes you get advice that may or may not be misleading, but most of the time people are pretty cool. Most of the content creators are pretty cool. So definitely, I think it's a community that you will enjoy if you're active, you know? So I want to keep this video fairly short. I want to kind of run over this stuff. Basically, if you get stuck, do the missions. If you don't know what you're doing, do the challenges, do the missions. As far as the campaign, this is going to be your main place for the next few days, maybe even for the next week. You're going to want to just focus on one champion. It's a huge, huge thing. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of this video, but focus on this champion, okay? Honestly, if you get a lane to, basically the goal is to get her to 5 stars as soon as possible. Get her to 6 stars as soon as possible, actually. But honestly, I've noticed that it gets to 5 stars and you kind of have to go back and farm to level up some other people, get them to 5 stars also, so you can actually get her ranked up to 6 stars or rank 6. But you definitely want to get your starter champion to rank 6 as quickly as possible, unless of course you pull something really, really good that may change your path. But for most people, get your starter champion to rank 6 as soon as possible, because honestly in raid, if you spread yourself too thin over the course of say 4 or 5 different champions and they're all level 50, it can definitely hamper your progress. It's not going to ruin your progress. There's not really much you can do to actually ruin your progress on your raid account, but it may make things a little more difficult for you. So it is something you want to watch out for. I've definitely seen people who have tons of level 50 5-star champions, but they don't have any 6-star level 60 champions. And the difference between a 6-star and a 5-star is actually very, very big. You get access to more masteries, actually probably the most impactful mastery, which is your tier 6 mastery, which we'll get into all of that in another video. Like I said, I wanted to keep this fairly short, concise, to the point. Another thing you want to do is make sure you're focusing on your beginner tournament as well. The beginner tournament, I'm doing these arena battles right now because this is actually the only thing you can actually farm technically, because everything else gives you points based on your first time completion. So on your first few days, you really want to make sure you're doing as much progression as possible so you can go ahead and get that speed gear from that beginner tournament. So you can go ahead and possibly place first, get an ancient shard for free, which is nice. It could definitely have a legendary or something really good, a good epic. 0.5% chance of getting a legendary, but hey, the epics are really good as well. Make sure you at least get to 1,000 points though, because this piece of speed gear, these 4 pieces can be really, really good for your account. And speed gear is probably one of the best sets in the early game. Speed gear and lifesteal are 2 you're gonna be focusing on a lot. But you can see right here, this is how you earn the points. The arena is the only one that you can keep earning points from. So like, you just keep farming it, keep earning points. As far as the dungeons, you get points for your first time clearing them. Same thing with the campaign locations, you get points for your first time clearing them. So do your arena, make sure to spin your points down, jump into the campaign, try to progress through the campaign, go back, check on your missions, check on your challenges, try to keep up with your missions and challenges. And honestly, you're gonna be cruising through the game. I honestly think that you could play Raid for probably 24 hours and still have plenty of energy to keep doing stuff, because honestly, the first few days of playing, it feels like you have so much energy because every time you level up, you're basically getting an energy refill. So I'm getting 63 energy each time I level up. Well, it actually increases because each time you level, you get a higher cap to your energy. So you're eventually going to have just so much energy, but eventually down the road, you will spin the energy down and the game does slow down for you, which is probably a good thing, because if not, you'd be playing literally all the time. But also don't get that twisted, because Raid does take a lot of time to play, especially, I guess it just depends on how much energy you have in general, because if you have no energy, you can't play. If you use your energy refills, but hey, we'll talk about all that. I'm going off on a tangent. There's so much stuff I could talk about as far as Raid goes. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I don't want to overwhelm you with information. But like I said, if you have any specific questions, leave it down below. I'm going to try to do some more dedicated videos to more like beginner tips, so you guys can watch those, watch the free-to-play progression. This is hopefully going to be more like a diary, journal, log type thing of my free-to-play, what I'm doing in the account, basically my goals. For the rest of the day, I'm just going to be trying to progress through the campaign, seeing what I can do here, trying to get Elaine slowly leveled up. I did rank her up to 4 stars yesterday. Obviously, she's 4 stars now. What I did is I pulled some mystery shards. I got pretty lucky and got a rare champion who was not actually that good. I got Pounder, who I was like, okay, well, I'll just use him as food. So went ahead, used 3 3-star champions to get Elaine rank 4, put her up to 4 stars. I used some brews on some magic affinity champions, which I have only magic affinity brew. Well, I have 1 force affinity brew. Now, one thing to keep in mind, on this guy, you'll see if I use a force affinity brew on him, it'll give him 18,750 experience. However, if I used a magic affinity brew on the same champion, it gives him 12,000. So make sure that this color matches this color up here. Make sure you're getting the 18,000 experience versus a 12,000. It's a pretty big difference. So if you are leveling up food champions, if you want to go ahead and use some of these champions, so like if I was going to use this guy to get him to 3 stars, I'd give him some force brews, go ahead and boost him up. Be careful about using too many brews though, because you do kind of want to save them, because whenever you rank up your starter champion, or if you're ranking up a champion who you're using a lot, either in campaign, dungeons, wherever it may be, if you're ranking them up and you don't have anybody to level them up, so especially early game, like whenever I ranked Elaine from 3-star, level 30 to 4-star, she gets reset back to level 1. So I want to make sure that I have some brews ready to take her up to say 21, at least level 20-ish, because bringing a 4-star level 1 champion into the content that you were just now barely clearing is going to be very difficult. You may be able to clear it, but it's going to be much harder. So make sure you don't waste all of your brews getting people leveled up to rank up. Make sure you save some for when you rank up your main champion. You'll be able to boost her level up a little bit to get her caught back up to the content where you're at. Because Raid, some games I know, whenever you rank up, they don't reset your level. Raid does reset your level, so you're back to level 1. You get an overall stat boost as you're progressing, but that first hit, you get dropped down and your champion's going to be not really usable for a little while, okay? This is not as big of a deal later on in the game. Once you start getting 6-star champions, it's a little bit easier to deal with. But early on, it is something you need to be mindful of, because it can make the grind, if you waste all your brews, a little difficult. It doesn't, like I said, it's not going to ruin your account. Honestly, there's so few things you can do to ruin your account. You could feed your legendaries. I've had people literally I've seen people get rid of all of their gear, okay? They literally clean out every single piece of gear on their account and their account's still not ruined. But honestly, that's probably the closest way to ruining your account you could do, is if you literally went in and just sold every piece of gear, which there's no reason to do that. But I have seen that happen before. But guys, I hope you all enjoy this series. I'm looking forward to doing it. It's been a long time since I visited this early part of Raid. This video is going a little bit longer than I expected, 25 minutes, but hey, hopefully you guys got something from it. Like I said, if you have any questions, if you're a newer player, definitely leave it down below in the comment section, because I don't know what you don't know. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next one.